That's what I was worried about, that as well.
But they still own the property.
And
they can deed the property over. They can do what they need to at that point.
yeah, the owner can also go to the trustee and say, look, I'm gonna sell this house, and the trustee can approve it.
Yeah, they can.
So in effect, the chapter 7, I mean, all it's saying is that, hey, we're not gonna fight you on it. But they still have to continue, the bank still has to continue with the foreclosure process. There's really no difference in the process.
They can't continue until it's been discharged.
So that's what I'm saying, is once it's been discharged, then there's no difference in the process. You can,
What happens is whatever day they were on that timeline, the day they started foreclosure, if say they're on day 99 on the foreclosure, or let's say 199, so like a day before the auction, whenever that bankruptcy is discharged, it starts on that very same day. It continues. That timeline continues in California. I don't know about Nevada, but in California, it just continues. So they could very well foreclose the very next day. And here's a cool thing about it. Not so cool, actually, I'm just joking. They do not have to give you notice. Or if they served you already once in the notice of default, the notice of trustee sale, guess what? They don't have to serve you again that it's going to auction in 2 days or 3 days or whatever, the next time it comes around. In most counties, it's like the first Tuesday of the week or first Tuesday of the month. That's when they do it. I actually had this happen to me on one of my properties. So I do foreclosure defense, and I learned this the hard way. The lady that owned the property, it was actually in the estate declared bankruptcy, and the bankruptcy was dismissed, and within a week, house was gone. I'm like, what the heck happened? Like, I got caught with my pants down, had no idea, learned the hard way, lost this house. And so that was when I was cutting my teeth. It was a couple years back, and I was learning how to do foreclosure defenses and stuff like that. Just screwed me over and screwed the family that was inside the house. Yeah.
I have another question. So I noticed one where the notice of default and the notice of sale filed on the same day. Same property.
Yeah.
Now, is that one of these things where it was in before, because you look at the history and it was in before, and then it was pulled out of foreclosure?
I'd have to look at the chain of title to figure that one out.
That one was there. I was like, what?
I have deals. Guys, you're going to want, this is why this is why the recordings are included, because there's going to be a lot of information here for you the first couple of times. You're like, I don't understand this. Go back and re-listen to this. Because some of us that are at different stages, and these questions might not make sense right now, but they will. And you go back and you listen to it. So I have here in this book, I have fraudulent notices of default and fraudulent assignments of mortgages that were notarized. Here's the crazy thing. There's so much fraud. There's so much fraud going on with these foreclosures that's happening right now. I have a substitution of trustee, and I have an assignment of mortgage. Now, whenever you have someone notarizing something, what has to be in effect in order for a notary to be good? What do you have to witness?
The signature.
The signature, right? So this notary witnessed the signature that happened 2 years ago.
Oh, geez.
How can that happen? So the signature took place on 2015, but the notary signed and sealed the deal in 2017. Now, not only that, the assignment of mortgage, which she witnessed, was also the same day of the notice of default, which happens to have both of the same notary, same exact notary. I mean, if you haven't done it already, go and Google 60 Minutes foreclosure crisis and type in Linda Green, or type in robo signers. What?
60 minutes?
60 minutes. 60 minutes, Linda Green, robo signers. And what you'll find is a whole 60-minute episode of people coming forward that have said, oh yeah, I signed hundreds of documents a day for years. I never even saw the person. In fact, they told me I can sign as the VP. I'm Linda Green, and that was the whole thing. Is Linda Green was this vice president that was foreclosing on all these people's houses in the United States.
Like 5 different banks at the same time.
Exactly. And it's called robo-signing. And what they were doing is they just had a room full of 100 people all signing, and then another person. So they get a stack of papers, and they go in the next room, and there's just a person stamping. And then they go to the next room, and there's a person that's just signing the notary's signature. And it was just this foreclosure mill. This is what they were doing, and they were taking people's properties. It is the biggest fraud out there. That's why I do pre-foreclosure. That's why I do foreclosure defense. This happened on one of my properties. I stopped it, by the way. There's a lot of things that you can do to stop, but I ended up losing one of those houses I told you already. So yeah, there's a lot of fraud, guys. Foreclosure defense is huge.
are we going to be learning that?
Not in this class. In a future class, we will, because obviously there's a whole book on it, and that's only the tip of the iceberg of what I know. on foreclosure
You lost
defense.
one of your houses to the
To the
scam?
bank, to the bank, yes.
And it was a scam, like
It was a scam, yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot in that book about it, and it'll lead you on to a lot more information.
Yep.
There's, you start Googling it. I ended up buying about 8 books on it.
Yeah.
Based on reading your book and learning what it was. There's a lot of information out there that I think was really neat.
I'm in the middle of recording this into an audio version for you as well, so as soon as that's done, I'll automatically give you guys a copy of the audio one.
I
Yeah.
have a personal request.
Of course.
Can you do like a private YouTube one of it or something so we can speed up the, or is there
Yeah.
another way to speed
To be
it
able to
up?
listen to it.
Yeah, so all you do is,
Kind of fun.
no, it's super easy. You have an iPhone, right?
Yeah,
So
I was listening on my computer though. I couldn't speed up your,
VSL or VLC,
I don't have that.
so that's what I
can
played
go
in.
with that.
All you can do with that, it's a free thing, and I speed up to like three times as fast.
That's all I want.
Also, what I do is
Speed it up.
I put it in iTunes, and I go into iTunes, and I turn it into an audiobook, and my audiobook allows me to listen to it twice the speed.
Yeah, exactly. iBooks on your.
Okay. and
Yep.
iBooks?
But you have to convert it into an audio book.
Okay.
So super easy.
For that. I just,
This book, guys, will be your Bible, like your weapon, like your war manual when you're out on the field, like talking to people on their doorstep. And here's the thing, you don't have to know everything about pre-foreclosures and the foreclosure process. You just have to know just this much more than they do. And now you're the expert. So if you have so you're going to have solutions. After these 3 days together, you're going to have solutions. This is going to give you the talking point so you can say, okay, hey, let me show you how much I do know as this expert that I really can help you. Because greed, they always, they understand money, but when you start talking about like, tax consequences or deficiency judgments, all of a sudden they're like, whoa, deficient, what? What's this? Tell me more. And if you can intelligently talk to them about that, you're going to get into conversations with them on how you can help them. So greed and fear, probates. So when you get someone that calls you back because they got your letter, and they say, hey, you know what? How can you help me with my estate? These are the questions that I want to ask the personal representative. The personal representative is the person that is the petitioner. So someone read these questions.
what are your plans for the property? Are there any repairs that need to be made? How much do you think it will cost to fix the property? How much is owed on the property? Are the payments current? What will you do if the property doesn't sell? How quickly would you like to sell the property?
There you go. Yeah.
So how often do you find that people are dishonest with you when answering stuff?
In what way?
Thank you.
Like when somebody say, oh, it doesn't need that much to fix, or they don't know maybe, or they say that their payments aren't current when they're not. Does that happen? Do you find that most people are upfront with you? Or do you find that there are people that are just...
Not when, that's a great question. So as far as like fixing the property, they just might not know.
Sure.
So I give them that. As far as them being dishonest, keep in mind, these are ones that have called me. They've reached back out to me. So the guys that are calling me, they're the ones that are looking for help. So their dishonesty factor is like almost non-existent because they want help.
Yeah, 'cause they're not greedy, they're needing the help.
Yeah, that's right. They're not greedy, they're needy. Sometimes they're both. But if I'm calling them and I'm now soliciting them for their property, now their guard's up a little bit. They're going to be a little bit dishonest. We're like, oh yeah, the house is. I love this when you call them FSBOs, for sale by owners. Move-in ready, brand new house. It's been a rental for 25 years, but it's perfectly kept. I'm like, what? No. So yeah. So when you're calling somebody, that does apply. So.
You don't lie to people about this?
Yeah, I do. Try not to.
Really?
Why do you think these questions are in this order?
I think it's gonna give you a whole, layout of what's going on with that property.
Okay, very good.
It can kind of give you some ammo if their price is super high, saying, well, you got to fix this much, you're behind on payments.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like a careful walkthrough to the buy.
It does.
It's a very
All of those
careful-
answers.
Careful walkthrough.
Well, I mean, check it out.
You get them thinking the way of,
Let's play this out. All right. So, Gary, you did such a good job acting. I'm going to answer these for you. What are my plans? I like to sell it. Are there any repairs needed to be made? No, it's a pretty good property. My mom took good care of it. How much do you think it would cost to fix the property? Oh, I don't know. $5,000, $10,000 maybe. Well, how much is owed on the property? Here's now where you get to find out where your wiggle room is. If it's old, free, and clear, who cares what needs to be repaired on it? Who cares? Oh, she owes about 120,000. Or the payment's current, maybe 1 or 2 behind. What will you do if you can't sell the property or if it doesn't sell? Now we're getting to some pain issues. So very casual conversations. We're just walking things here. Now we're getting to like, okay, I'm behind, and if it doesn't sell, I don't know. Well, we need to sell it. I mean, I haven't thought about that. We need to sell. We got to sell it. I got to pay for stuff. You know, how quickly? Well, tomorrow. So now we're talking about, okay, what's the price now? You have urgency. You have some need. So I'm trying to develop some need in the conversation here. I'm very casual, walk down, you know, me wanting to buy it until I get to the point where let's really talk about some pain here. Because without pain or without a problem to solve, it's very difficult for people to just give you their property for nothing or just sign it over. So I'm always looking for the problem that I can solve by taking the real estate away from them.